Let's bring in our good buddy Tim Kurkjian. He never needs to be defended because he doesn't do anything wrong. Tim, how you doing?
Listen, keep your arguing to yourself, not during my segment, okay?
That's right, exactly. Tim,
that was a joke.
I look at what happened today. I mean, the playoff games are gigantic, but the Dodgers getting Andrew Friedman might change the balance of power in the American League East. How big a loss for Tampa Bay is this?
It's really big, Michael. I mean, Joe Maddon, granted he's a little biased. He's the manager of the team, but he usually tells the truth. He's told me multiple times over the last few years that Andrew Friedman is the best general manager in the game. He said this guy is tremendous. He's ahead of everyone else. And the numbers perhaps suggest that with a very small payroll and some very difficult decisions to make, this guy usually does the right thing. He's got a great feel, of course, for analytics. He's got a great feel for the draft. He knows when to trade a guy and when not to, seemingly. And I think he's certainly one of the best GMs in the game. And I'm not sure that's exactly what the Dodgers needed, but they needed something to get this thing turned around again, and that's a pretty good start, Andrew Friedman.
Is he a Don Mattingly guy?
I think that remains to be seen. I think it would be a logical assumption to at least look at, hey, do you think they'll try to get Joe Maddon to L.A.? My guess is, just starting here, is that that's not going to happen. It would take an enormous amount to get Joe Maddon away from the Rays, and I think Joe Maddon enjoys the lifestyle in Tampa Bay an awful lot right now. But I don't see Andrew Friedman just going in and firing Don Mattingly, but that's going to be part of the process now, what he thinks of the people in place.
Now, what I'm hearing, though, Tim, is that he is going to hire a GM, right?
Is that Andrew's going to hire a GM?
I've been reading that he's going to hire a GM. Now, Ned Colletti has been moved as an advisor to Stan Kasten, which is, kind of a nice gold watch, I guess.
Right, but Andrew Friedman is going to make the baseball decisions there.
Right,
That's my understanding. So you can give any title you like, but the guy who's going to make trade, the guy who's going to decide on the manager, the guy who's going to oversee ultimately the draft is going to be Andrew Friedman. They didn't bring him there for any other reason than to make the right call on who's going to be our shortstop next year. That's what he's there for, and he can hire all the GMs he wants, but that's why they brought him in, because he's got a good look at players and money and everything that goes between.
I always wonder, though, and I wonder if you've thought this over too, Tim. He's been so brilliant working with no money, all right, having just a pared-down payroll. Now he's moving up to the big time, the deluxe apartment in the sky. He's baseball's version of the Jeffersons. So how's it going to be different now that he has $250 million to spend rather than $80 million?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be easier for him, Michael, because he can make a mistake now, and it's not going to set back the organization for years, as it would with Tampa Bay and some other franchises out there. So there's no way around this. It's better to have the money. That's pretty obvious. However, this thought that it's easy and you make all the right decisions when you have the money simply isn't true. Just look at Brian Cashman, the move he made last winter. He got two of the three best hitters available on the free agent market. How can that be a bad move? And yet he gets clobbered for it when those guys don't hit. So this is where the pressure comes in, is now everyone expects someone with money to win the World Series right away. And in baseball, it doesn't always work that way with the crapshoot that this game is on so many different levels.
What do you hear about this rumor about Omar Minaya joining the Yankees?
Well, I hadn't heard that one. That one doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me until someone explains exactly what role he's going to be in. I mean, Brian Cashman still should be making the baseball decisions there, and as far as I know, he is. I don't know where Omar would fit in, frankly, in that hierarchy.
All right, you're in Kansas City. Game 3 is tonight. The rain out yesterday. What's the buzz there, Tim? Did it benefit anybody? Did it hurt any team?
Well, I think it would certainly benefit the Orioles, and it could benefit the Royals also, that they can take their Game 1 starter and throw them in Game 4 now and still have them more than available for Game 7. So I think that helps the Orioles, but I think it helps the Royals a little bit more because I'm just not – if they were to lose tonight, they could say, hey, we're going to start our ace, James Shields, instead of Jason Vargas here, and then still have Shields for 7 if that's possible. I mean, if there is a Game 7. So I'm not sure it's a huge advantage for anyone. I'll take it as a mild advantage pitching-wise for the Royals. And as for, them losing momentum here, not playing 2 days in a row, I get it, but we asked Buck Showalter that question yesterday, and he just kind of laughed and said, no, their momentum is not going to be stopped just by not playing for 2 days.
The games have been fabulous, and I've enjoyed every second of them, but they have lasted fairly long. Even the games that go 9 have been long, and I know Major League Baseball very conscious of the length of games. Any talk about how long some of these postseason games have been?
No, I haven't heard that talked on, and I understand. I just think when you get to this level of play, it shouldn't matter how long the games take. What concerns Major League Baseball and everyone around the game is, that Cubs Astros game that lasts 4 hours, 9 innings, and it's, whoever wins, it's not that big of a deal. But here, I've watched a couple really long games that were really well played, and it didn't seem like they were lasting 4.5 hours because every pitch is so important. So I don't think pace of game is going to be brought up during the postseason, but it will be mentioned and will be talked about a lot in the offseason.
Talking with Tim Kurkjian, our ESPN baseball analyst. Before I let you go, I am shamefully rooting for Buck Showalter and the Orioles. I don't understand how the Royals are up 2-0. I cannot fathom that they will win the series, but it looks like they've got a pretty good chance. I just think that all the planets must be aligned because Ned Yost is not even close to Buck Showalter, but I guess you can manage your way in the regular season out of something, but a short series, it doesn't show up.
Yeah, as you know, Michael, the planets do align this time of year. I don't care what anyone says. I believe in that stuff. When enough crazy things have happened during the course of a season, or in this case, just the course of 10 days of the postseason, you start to wonder, is something special going on here? And I think it might be in Kansas City. Now, I picked the Orioles to win this series, and I am by no means counting them out of this series. But something's going on here with the speed and the defense and the extra inning homers and the power they're showing. Those last two things did not show up at all this year. When they start showing up in October, you start shaking your head and saying, oh, boy, something's happening here. And I think that's exactly what's going on in Kansas City.
And what's the tenor with the Orioles? Are they down? Do they still believe they can win?
No. I talked to a bunch of them yesterday, and I talked to Buck yesterday. Again, Michael, you saw the Orioles a lot this year. You know what they played through to run away with that division. To count them out or think, oh, boy, we're done now, that simply is not the case for the Orioles, and that's never the case with a Buck Showalter managed team.
Good stuff. Enjoy the game. Thanks for popping on with us.
Thanks, Tim.
Okay, guys. See you.